anything about
Sam
this?
Altman told me.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Watching a video about it?
Huh?
Watching a video about it or something? Or?
No, like when I met him.
You met Sam Altman?
Yes.
Yeah, tell me about this.
I told you about
You did
this
not
before.
tell me about this, man.
I've told you about this before.
Nah, you have not told me.
I've told you about this before. He went to my high school.
Sam Altman went to your high school.
He did.
What high school is this?
John Burroughs School. St. Louis, Missouri.
Wow.
Of all places.
What the fuck? Are you serious, man?
Yeah, he last year was my school's centennial.
I'll search it up.
All right. Yeah, last year was my school's centennial event, basically like 100 years, and so they had all these guest speakers come in, random Helion energy. That's what I was talking about.
Where is it?
Go back a slide. I was talking about helium. So it might be
Where do you see
helium.
Where do you see that?
See in the overview. Over to your right.
I'm stupid.
To your right. Helion energy. He owns.
What
He
do
was talking about that when I met him.
Oh, Helion.
Because basically he came to my school for the centennial event. He gave a speech in our like a morning assembly. We have a morning assembly.
Yeah.
And then this one class had him, but they just stayed in like the massive assembly hall. So like there was like 100 kids still there after that. And they were like, got to ask some like, philosophical questions for AI and whatever, but these I don't know. But then he came to my computer science class. I had that right after that, AP Comp Sci. And there's there's 8 kids and the teacher. So we had Sam Altman, 8 kids, a teacher, and then Sam Altman's ex-computer science teacher from high school, who he, like, says, she got him interested in it and, like, pushed him to do it.
No way.
And, 8 people, 45 minutes for Sam Altman. Like, you get to ask plenty of questions, which was, in ways he might be filtered. You know what I mean?
Right.
So... But it's still interesting to hear from him in person. And, I had prepared questions that my teacher was like, that was my assignment for that night.
I prepared questions
for Sam Altman.
Hell yeah, I prepared questions.
And so I remember coming across Helion Energy, and I was like, oh, here's this big thing. And
when was this? So your senior year? Because COVID came,
senior year.
ChatGPT came out like November 2023, right?
Yeah, so
junior
this would
year.
have been...
That was junior year winter.
November 2023?
Yeah, when ChatGPT... 2022, sorry. When
2022.
ChatGPT,
Yeah, junior year. It would have come out junior year, winter. This would be October of 2023.
So about a year after. Yeah.
Yeah, not even a full year since ChatGPT was released.
Wow.
And he was there. And he came back this previous year, but obviously...
Yeah. Hey, I respect him.
I'm
He
at
came
college
back
now.
to high school.
But, no, I know. I was like, he took time to come.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I watched one of his Stanford talks, I think.
Yeah. I think he was at Michigan at one point.
No, when was this? Recently?
I just remember seeing
That's
it.
crazy.
I was like, oh, he's here.
No way.
That's great.
Yeah.
Give me an internship. I don't know. But
yeah.
It was cool. It was, just interesting.
What is he like in person? Because I feel like online he gets this kind of persona where he's kind of like that typical CS kind of weirdo, like talking wise.
Yeah.
Like, did he seem like a normal person? Did he seem a little off? Like, what was he like in person?
Yeah, I mean, I think at first my mind, being a comp sci guy, was like a bit like my mind was going crazy. I was like, oh, holy cow, there's Sam Altman right in front of me. But like it set him pretty quick. I was like, trying to see, who is he? Like, what does he act like actually? I think in ways he was filtered. I think in ways he wasn't filtered because he's talking.
Filter, like he held back, or what?
He's media trained. You know what I mean?
Media
trained.
Like
he can't reveal all his secrets. He can't reveal all this and that. He can't. He can give his. I'm sure most of what he says is his actual thoughts, but I'm sure he has some hidden thoughts because he knows more than all of us.
He might be an AI himself, man.
Yeah, he might be. I don't know. He honestly could be.
Like when you hear him speak, it's like kind of uncomfortable almost.
That's what I'm saying, and I think it's because of like the media training and stuff like that.
You think that's why? You don't think that's how he is as a person? He's dropped out of Stanford, right?
I think it's when a person who he never set out to become a public speaker or any of these things, right? These tech guys made it because they're brilliant and in some form. Like he set out to do that, and so now he's getting all this media training, all this trying to filter him to make sure he's not saying anything wrong. For the company, he's a CEO. And, he wasn't the type of person to be in a position to be doing all this public speaking necessarily, but now he is. So I think could be why it comes off as a little awkward.
Yeah.
But, I mean, at some point you get used to it, right? I think, I don't know. I remember one thing I read about him one time was when he made his first company, when he dropped out of Stanford, he made this company called Loop T. It was like...
What's it called? Loop T?
Loop T.
Looped.
I think. Loop T.
That's something my friend John says. Like he says random things like Loop T.
Yeah, it's a cool concept. It's basically just you can track your friends on your device. So you can be like at all times.
Well, there's an app that's like Life 360 is like that. Or?
Yeah. I mean, it's similar, but it was more of like a social use.
Okay.
so he could do friends. But he raised funding and everything. But I remember reading that the summer he worked on that, when he dropped out, he got scurvy, which is, I'm like, that's like for pirates.
Bro, yeah.
So that's how locked in he was.
Did you have to eat like oranges or something to get rid of scurvy?
Like, I don't know. I don't know how you get rid of that. But the point is, somebody who's going to get scurvy working on something so hard to build up this company.
How the fuck did he get scurvy?
That's what I'm saying. Like, just no hygiene at all because he was just locked
he definitely
in for
does
a
not
whole
shower.
Summer. That's what I'm saying. I mean, if you're making your company,
he's definitely the type not to shower.
That's what I'm saying. So, like, I don't know. I feel like, like if somebody's like that, you know, they're not, you know, that he's the type of person that can do that. He's not the type of person that's going to be speaking a ton.
Right.
Like,
he probably never expected it.
Yeah. No, especially with OpenAI.
Because a lot of these companies become successful that you don't become that successful. Like, this is one of the biggest companies in the world.
No. Yeah. No.
You know
and for sure. And what he did after, he might have had another thing or two, but after he did that, so he raised his first company. Maybe he had another one or two or whatever, but then he worked at Y Combinator, if you know what that is.
Mm-hmm.
Big, you know, like they promote other startups. So at that point, I think he was the CEO for a small stint there or something, or maybe a large stint, I don't know. But like he's not working on his own companies at that point. You know, he's looking at what other ones will succeed and doing all this other things. So he's hasn't always been in that like running his own gig thing.
Right.
I guess he's always been a CEO.
Yes. Interesting. I mean, I wonder like how good of a leader he'd be, because I feel like a lot of his brilliance comes in his technological expertise, and also just like coming up with these like fascinating ways to make these kind of models work. Yeah, which is insane.
I think that's a tricky thing, is all these tech guys who are so, you know, in tune and brilliant when it comes to the tech making things. These are the people that are having to decide all these, you know, moral, philosophical things. I get governments intervene and whatnot, but you know, he's still making some decisions out there, even though he wasn't picked for his role as that. He found his way in because of the tech, like his expertise there.
Does that scare you?
Well, going back to him talking in person, I think it was like, you know, like uncanny valley level of like, it felt slightly off when he was talking, because it was like, and especially in the computer science room when it was just the 8 of us, like he wasn't like up on a stage in front of a podium talking to everybody like he was there. He was like leaned against a wall, like with like a rubber duck in his hand, because we had all these rubber ducks for like, I don't know, it's like a computer science thing.
Oh my god.
But he's like leaning up a wall, just like talking to us, like, you know, answering all these questions. And so he seemed more relaxed in that way, and like he's with his old teacher, you know, small room. But he was really like there's no stopping anything. Like he seemed to have the attitude of, in a way, it's almost already beyond us, or maybe not beyond all of us, but beyond you being not Sam Altman. You know, he's leading the forefront of it. He sees what's going on, but you as just an average citizen, like, you don't really have a say
in like what goes down.
And what goes down.
Interesting, because I feel like when I watched his interview, I didn't get that kind of attitude from him. Maybe well, you sat with him, right? So you saw like something completely different. Because I remember on the Stanford interview, he was talking about how like he's really encouraging people to like, you know, go and like chase it because it's out there. You know what I mean? Like, I wonder if you felt any of that as well.
Chase what?
Like I think someone in the auditorium at Stanford asked him like, "What's your advice for someone trying to start startups?" He's like, "Just go do it. Like, go get it. Like, if you work hard, like, you'll succeed."
Yeah, I mean, I think I wasn't trying to say that he's disencouraging other people from doing it because they're so far ahead. Mm-hmm. It was more of the only thing he can think about is progress. So when his brain's so set on, you know, the next 5 years, the next 10 years of AI, where it's going to be, he's not looking at right now. He doesn't really care what's going on right now. Like, you see GPT-3, you know, he was telling us, he's like, he's embarrassed. It's horrible. Like GPT-4, it's nothing special either. But like GPT-5, like what's coming next, you know, 5 years down the road, that's what he's set on. And I think he's trying to encourage everybody to have the same mindset of like, if everybody is just, you know, putting their work together, like really chasing all of these things, you know, like enough things happen, like it'll just get further and further.
I see. Because before you said that, like, we as citizens don't have a say. So do you really mean that we don't have a say in terms of like I feel like for Sam Altman, he's got the success, and I feel like what success does to you, it kind of turns into this laser focus, like Isaac Newton kind of attitude, right? Yeah. And then out the window goes morals and ethics and what it actually fundamentally means and how it's applied. So when you say that we don't have a say, do you think that the people who create these technologies have gained so much success from it that they're so laser focused on building more of it, like ChatGPT 5, ChatGPT 6, like this version sucks, like how can we make it better, without thinking about why do we want it to be better, like what are we going to use it for? Do you think that, does that part like scare you in terms of like there's, as we normal citizens who are like not integrated in that whole sphere,
Yeah.
like who is really determining the moral, larger ethical questions around it?
That's a great question. I think my answer to that is when it's a product like Apple or something, like keyword product, it's a product for people to use. When you're selling something that has people in mind, I think the morals stick with you in a way. Obviously, you know, maybe they hit a feature that they could have put in the iPhone 11, but now they're going to keep it until the 17, like whatever.
Right.
But it's still, you know, they're making something for people. The way AI is, like, you know, ChatGPT, they weren't making money off of it at first. You know, like there wasn't even the pro, like there's not ads. Like what are they getting, right? I mean, I'm sure they're raising money.
Do you think they sold data?
To fund it, huh?
Do you think they sold data?
I don't know. I mean, I think he looks at data, or maybe not just Sam, but like, you know, it's a very fluid thing. Like they just want as much data as they can get.
Yeah.
I don't know if they'll be selling it, but if they could get more by selling it.
Well, collecting
like
it's good in itself for them as a profit, but yeah.
But back to your question. I think with something like AI, especially ChatGPT, it, like in its current form, you know, these things are looked at as aids to humans, right? It's, you know, it's a service, but you know, in the grand scheme of things, I guess it's all generally to help us, but it's not like a quick product we're buying, right? It's much more complicated than that. They're making, you know, this tool that, and it's in a weird way, it's like conscious in some small way, like eventually, you know what I mean?
Yeah.